Are you tired of not doing the thing? Like, you want to do the thing. I've got the ultimate solution for you. So you might be like, okay, so what is the thing? The thing is exclusive to you. It's that thing that you keep saying that you want to do, but doesn't get done. And that's the thing that keeps you up at night. So, whatever that thing is for you, I want you to think about it right now. Hold on, because in this episode, we're going to talk about supercharging your routine with intentions and super stacks so that you can get the thing done, even if it's in teeny tiny steps. Welcome to the Creative Life in Motion podcast. I'm your host, Karen Wilson. And on this podcast, we talk about moving, being unstoppable, even with a limited time and budget. So, this specific episode, we're going to go into self discovery and being unstoppable. I'm going to talk a lot about what super stacks are, the difference between a super stack and a morning routine, and if you should be messing around with the things that already work. And I'm going to talk about how to create your buckets so that you know that your morning routine or super stack or both are actually lining you up towards success in that big vision that you have, or if they're actually steering you away from what you really want. I'm going to start with myself as an example. When I was 7, I began writing stories, but I never really, it was never really the writing that was my favorite part. It was always sharing them out loud. As I grew older, I always said, I'm going to write a book one day. I have a book in my head. And the more I acquired knowledge and struggles and got over those struggles, especially through my personal weight loss slash weight gain slash get familiar with this new body and this new identity I have slash fill in the blank, burnout was there. The more I was like, I need to get all of this out on paper. I need to write a book and share my message with others who can identify with this and to help, and say you're not alone. Yet none of the things that I was doing during the day would set me up for that success until I was asked this question from a coach. What would a writer do? Well, that's it's a pretty easy answer, right? What does a writer do? Like if you want to be a writer, what's an activity that a writer has to do? Write every day. Write every day. Well, that sounds pretty simple, but it's not. Because you see, you have to create time and space to write every day, especially if your schedule is already pretty jam-packed. Years ago, I had created this morning routine to be this healthiest version of myself. It has a set of activities that I do. I get up, I take the dog out. If you've, been with me for a while, my morning routine. We've talked about it many times. Take the dog out, come back in, have some water, maybe have a little snack, do a workout, have a shower, and, get ready for the day. None of that had writing in it. So I had to look at the stuff that I already trusted myself to do. You see, former me needed that routine in order to keep me accountable, because if I didn't do my workout before I did anything else, chances are I'm probably not going to do it, because all these other things I will put priority over them rather than putting priority on myself. So if I get that done first, before anyone or anyone else needs me, I will get it done. But you see, this morning routine I was doing, that was for a version of myself that needed that. Now, this version of myself that stands here today, I know what fitness and health does for me. I know I've gotten to a point where I enjoy it. When I miss it, I crave it. I do it for an act of self-love and keeping my strength so that I can do the things that I want to do 20 years from now. I think of it as something that's in my health account. So since I'm good with that and I haven't been writing, I thought, well, what if I moved my workout to a different part of the day? Like, what would happen if I decided that I was going to work out at lunchtime or before lunch, or probably not after lunch because I'm full? So, what if I did it before lunch, my lunch break, so to speak, and in that special spot where I had it located, I would write. I knew that if I put it in that spot, the excuses would go away. Every excuse that I had for time, I had already allotted that time for myself where I did a stack of things that I knew I needed to do before anyone else got a hold of me. So, what if I put this other thing that I'm not doing in that spot and trust myself to do the old thing in a new spot? And you know what? You know what happened? Within 90 days, I had a book written, edited, published, and in my mother's hands on the other side of Canada. Because I moved that activity to a time where nothing else would get in the way. And was it hard? Yes. It was very difficult because I had to trust myself. I had to change things. And did I miss some workouts? Probably a handful, but it was good. It all worked out. And still to this day, so I did that in 2021, and still to this day, I'm recording right now in 2024. It's become a new habit where the first thing I do in the morning is I write because I crave it. And I am a writer now. I have a published book. I have 2 more in the works. I write these podcasts. I write for other people. I've decided that I'm a writer, so I do what writers do. I tell you this story because, it took me really, really wanting to do this. I really had this desire. I was like, at the time, I must have been 48. I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm almost 50. And here's this thing that I've kept trying to do and never completing. And what is wrong with me? And just feeling that sense of urgency. I also kind of had a sense of urgency. I feel like kind of the pandemic kind of pushed me towards it a little bit because I had all these other questions. Well, what if? What if I could never get that message out to the younger generations of what I wanted to say? What if the only chance I had was now? What if I don't have another 6 months on this planet? And I decided to hold that back from everybody. How would that make me feel? I didn't like that feeling, so I took action. First, we're going to go through the difference between a super stack and a morning routine. And next, we're going to break it down into smaller buckets so that you can actually figure out, are my daily actions matching what I want for myself in the future? And how to really adjust them if they're not. And I'm just offering suggestions and things that have worked for me. This certainly isn't brand new stuff. This is the way I've organized it in a way that I can integrate it into my days. And I find that since I've been able to go further faster and also not burn myself out in the process, and feel more satisfied at the end of the day when I'm adhering to it. I mean, when I'm off track and I could be like a real bear, when I'm not feeding myself with the things that I need to make me feel unstoppable. It's about being, it's not about doing. The difference between a morning routine and a super stack. My definition of a morning routine is a set of things that you do when you wake up to prepare yourself to take on the day. It can be simple. I just wake up. When I do that, we make the bed. I have a glass of water. I take my dog Tula out to go to the bathroom. And then I come into my office and I sit behind my happy light and I write for about 25 minutes. And then I have breakfast and then I go and work out, which right now my workout is weight training. Then I come back upstairs and I get ready for the day. Now that's a morning routine. The super stack happens the moment I start work. So in this phase, when I'm recording this, I'm getting ready to do my show. I have 3 nights where I'm performing in Kelowna. And so the first part of my super stack is rehearsal. And that starts my day of work because that is work. That is absolutely necessary. Then the next part of my super stack is applying for that next stage, applying, like looking for more areas that I can be on other people's podcasts, speaking engagements, going to schools, researching and reaching out. That's the second part. And then the next part of my super stack is answering, replying to emails. Now, those are the things, if I don't do them in my workday, then they might get slid till the end of the day. And worse than that, I might not even do them. So I find that the morning routine is the difference is the morning routine gets you set for the day, gets you set to take on the world, takes care of your body, soul, and your mind. And then your super stack are those things that you need to move the needle, especially if you work from home, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're building or you're creating something, or you're wanting to. So, for example, that spot, whatever I do in that first spot might change and move. Once the show is done, that spot will probably be reserved for continuing on a book or, doing a website design that needs to be done or updated or, communicating with online courses or, something that is not typically paid for, like you're not exchanging dollars for hours for someone else. You're actually moving the needle for something that you need to do first. And I do my work. And the difference is when I show up to do the work for other people, then I am more confident, I'm more happy, I feel like I've taken my care of myself, and I feel like they get better work because I'm not distracted with all the things that I wish I would have done for myself. I'm not letting myself slide off the to-do list. Your super stack can actually be planted anywhere in your day. Morning routine is pretty set in where it is. It's like when you wake up. It doesn't matter when you wake up. It's just when you wake up, this is what you do. The super stack is placed anywhere, but it still needs to be done in that set. And the reason why I like to do it in a set of 3 or more activities is because it follows the tiny habits system and the habit stacking system. So it's like I do this and then I do that and I do this. So there's little bitty steps inside, the rehearsal. There are certain things I need to do for my warm up that signals to me, my brain and my body that I'm about to perform. So that's placed strategically before in every single time I do it so that when I do go out onto the stage, I'm ready, right? So you have to figure out what those super stacks are. And you might already know what they are because usually it's what you're not doing, right? Okay. Are you with me? If you're watching this on YouTube, Let me know in the comments below, what is it that you are not doing that you could see yourself putting into like a super stack format? Now let's break this down into buckets. The first bucket is your long-term vision. So this is your great big, vision, life goals of the perfect day, the perfect job. If you could have a magic wand, what would your day be like? How would you fill it? How would it start? How would it end? What would happen in between? If you haven't visited that before and you've never like really, really dove into exploring that, I challenge you to do it. That is bucket one. The second bucket is a shorter intention, a shorter goal or intention line. So that would be like where would you like to be a year from now? So take that big idea that you have, put it on, try it on, and if it works and if it does everything that you feel and you think it's going to do, what's it going to be like a year from now? How are you going to feel about it? Are you going to feel like you want to run with it another 20 years? Or is it something that is not really connected to the bigger vision? This is the time to really think and evaluate about that. Think about like where you want to be a year from now. And if it doesn't match that big vision, like if it takes you away from that big vision any way, shape, or form, even in a feeling, I recommend that you just visit that for a little bit. Now, this is different than fear. If you're like thinking about, well, maybe I shouldn't do it because I'm scared, that's not a good enough reason. Like really dive deep. Is it tools? Is it money? Is it resources? Is it because you don't know how? Like these are the things that you need to visit because anything is possible. You can be anything that you choose to be. It just might take time for the money to come. And that's why we talk on this podcast about still doing the things regardless of the financial gains. If you don't move, you'll never get clarity ever. Like just saying. Once you've got that big vision, and then you have the next vision, the 1 year goals vision, and you're pretty clear that they're in priority with each other with your life goals, then it's time to brain dump absolutely everything, an exhausted list. So there's a gap from here to there, all the things that you need to learn and do, and steps and micro steps and everything, and brain dump it all and then decide like what is the first step. Once you have your first step, you have the building of your super stack. So there might be 1, 2, or 3 activities. If I'm using myself as an example, I rearranged my morning routine to look more like a super stack. I still got up and I had my morning routine. It was different. This is also another time to choose if this is something that requires so much of your discipline and self accountability, it should be inserted in your morning routine, which is why I started this off with, should it be time to shift up your morning routine and build a different super stack? And that's when my super stack became looking after my body. Are you kind of following that? Super stack is movable. It's still things that you need to do that get you to that goal in the vision. And why do I need that to take care of my body, to be a writer, to be a performer? Because when I get there, I need to be fit and strong and have good mindset and fortitude to be able to carry my readers and watchers through, right? It makes perfect sense. So the super stack is still something that I need to do. However, in order to get to my goals, I needed to switch up my morning routine to match my goals. So they are different things. My argument is that you need both. They're really interchangeable, which is why I guess people get confused when I'm trying to explain them. And when I'm working with people one-on-one and they're trying to get the thing done that they're never getting done, but they have an established morning routine, that's when we start getting into the intricate details of, well, it's time to shake up your morning routine and build a new super stack that's going to support not only your morning routine, but your future goals. Now it's your turn to talk to me. Tell me, what is your morning routine? Do you have one? Do you need one? And what is your super stack? What do you propose your super stack should be? And is it time to insert some of that super stack power into your morning routine because you're not moving the bar? These are all great questions to ask yourself, and I'd love to hear your answers. Here's the thing. Your goals, dreams, and visions, they're very important. And they're really important to you, and they're also important to the people around you and the people that haven't met you yet. And if you're not doing these things, you're really being selfish and holding back. If you're continuously putting yourself at the bottom of your to-do list and sliding off the side of your desk every single day because you're looking after everybody else, that is noble. I love that you love people and you care for people so deeply that you would do anything for them. But in order to be able to continue with that for years and years and years to come, you need to put some stock in your own health and wellness account. And that stock starts now. That stock starts 20 years ago. 20 years ago is what's showing up today in your body. So what you do today is going to show up 20 years from now. What do you want that to look like? How do you want that to feel? And are those feelings matching your actions in who you are being? Build a solid morning routine based on your values, your priorities, your goals, and a solid super stack based on the action items that you know that you need to be doing every day, and get those locked in and systemized so that you can feel more grounded and confident that the actions you're taking are bringing you where you want to go, because it is a marathon. It's not going to happen overnight. Thank you for spending this time with me. I don't take it lightly. If this was helpful for you, it really helps if you subscribe. I have some really great stuff about consistency coming out very soon, and you definitely don't want to miss that. People ask how they can help me with my creative pursuits. One way is definitely making sure that you're subscribed. When you give it a like or a review, that's very, very helpful to the show. It helps it get into more feeds, and it shows the algorithms that it's useful. And yeah, I really appreciate hearing from you as well. So thanks again for hanging out, and we'll talk soon again. Bye.